Hello students, it's good to see you here again. I hope you all are doing good. So students, today we will start with our chapter number 2 of geography, that is land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wild resources. So students, we might have you might have already studied about all these kind of things before also, but today we will study them in detail and I hope you will pay attention, and I just want you to go through the subject after we are done with it. So students, let's start with our very first heading, that is introduction. So let me tell you one thing, that anything that is found in our nature, in our environment, that is considered as a natural resource, that we have already studied in our resource chapter of chapter number 1 in geography. Coming next to our next topic, that is land. So students, one of the most important natural resources is land, as we all know about it, and it covers almost 30% of the total area of our earth's surface, and even it has an uneven distribution over the earth just because of various volcanic eruptions, various factors, where somewhere the plain is land is like down, somewhere the steep slopes are there, just because of the it's just because of the volcanic eruptions. And you will notice that most of the population relies and stays on land instead of staying on mountainous regions, just because here water is easily available, they can easily grow crops and they can easily settle without any kind of problem. Moving on to our next topic, that is land use. So students, let me tell you that why and how and when do we use our land and in what ways. So first of all, like different for different purposes we use our land, like agriculture and for farming, and for establishing factories and industries, and for making houses, and for many more purposes. And the factors that determines the use of land are topography is a kind of graphical representation in which we come to know about that how and which land and which area is covered with what kind of area, like which region is mountainous, which region is grassland, and which region is plain. Then comes soil defines what kind of agriculture can be grown over that particular area. Climate is a main factor, because if climate conditions are not good, then nobody can reside over there. Minerals and availability of water are another important factor, because if minerals are not present, then somehow that particular area will not be too flourished. And availability of water is one of the most important factor, because without water a human being cannot survive. And important determinants of land use pattern are human factors such as population, technology, because if land is having good number of population, then there might be a good competition of resources as well, right? Because many more people will come forward to sell their goods and products. And the students, here even land has been divided into many forms, like there are two kind of lands, that is private land and community land. Private land is a land that is owned by an individual, like we people. But community land is owned by a kind of organization, or a group of people who have a particular purpose to set up their industry, either or to make a particular mall, or anything. So student, our next heading is conservation of land resources. First of all, it is very important, just because if we will overutilize our resources, then our future generation will not be able to see them. And if we will utilize them, or over exploit them, then somehow we will have to face the circumstances like global warming, deforestation, more pollution, and somehow we will not be able to meet our requirements in the future as well. So it is very important for us to recheck from time to time that are our resources available, and are we really conserving our land resources. Let's move on to our next heading, that is soil. So students, here you can see the definition of the soil is given, like the thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is called soil. Means a kind of powdery substance that covers the uppermost layer of the earth is known as soil. And soil is made up of organic matters, means dead plant and animals, and minerals, and also rocks. They all combine to form a particular soil material. And when these things combine in a particular proportion, means when they are in a balanced form, then they make the soil fertile. As you can also see here students, there is a soil profile diagram, like the topsoil, subsoil, and weathered rocks and parent rock. So here is the layer, and you can go through the internet for further. But before that, let me tell you that these are also known as horizon diagrams. Means the subsoil is known as horizon A, the topsoil is known as horizon A, the subsoil is known as horizon B, and weathered rock is known as horizon C, and parent rock is known as horizon D. and here nitrogen compound is present in most abundant material because of rich resource. Now students, we will see that how soil is formed. Major factors are nature of the parent rock, means what kind of parent rock is present, means how hard or soft it is, and climate, of course, just because climate plays a very important role, because raining, thundering, storms, wind, tides, water, everything will make the rock weak, and hence it will break into further segments, and hence the soil gets formed. Other factors include topography, role of organic material, and time, that we have already discussed. But time, because like if a rock is there and it has been existing from last so many years, then it will get weak and it will break into pieces by coming into contact with the water, rain, and different components like human, and there are many factors as well for the formation of soil. Now we will see that how and why does a soil degrades. First of all, soil erosion and depletion are the major threats of soil as a resource. Means like soil erosion, when the soil loses its nitrogen compounds, its kind of fertility, then it will not be able to provide soothing effects to the crop being grown or trees being grown in that particular region. Hence it will loosen up and it will destroy the plantation and vegetation of that particular area. And the major factor of soil erosion is deforestation, and factors that lead to soil degradation means soil spoilage are deforestation, overgrazing means overusing of a particular area again over again, and overuse of chemical fertilizers as well. Rainwash means when the land is steep and when the water falls down from the top, then it washes away everything in between. And landslides, we already know. And floods as well, because if floods are more, then the soil will not be able to absorb all the water, and hence it will spoil its components. Here is the most important part of our chapter, students, that is soil conservation, means how we can conserve the soil. First method is mulching. So students, the uncovered part that you can see in the diagram is like a part where most of the organic matters and all kind of degradable matters are kept, so that the soil doesn't loses its that compound and its organic activity, and hence it can regain it whatever and whenever it needs. Like it is a kind of provider, an energy provider to the soil. Then comes counter barriers, means to stop a water for a particular region and at a particular place so that it can be used again. They farmers used a technique that is counter barriers, so as to make the water store at a particular place and then they can use it later. And the next method is rock dam. You might have seen rock dam near a site somewhere where there is a big lake, or somewhere where water isn't present in scarce, so that they can store water using these rocks, and whenever they need water, then they will just remove the rocks and let the water come to the fields. Terrace farming is one of the most important aspect being followed in China especially, and in India also in Darjeeling, so that they can provide and grow crops in a particular mountainous region without using much of the water and without using much of the efforts. Intercropping is one of the most important aspect, because of which we can grow different crops in a particular region alternatively, and we can even grow the crops within each part where there is space left. In this way all can get nourishments, and they can nurture and they can grow easily. And in counter ploughing, they make a barrier and a sleep strip, so that when the water falls down, then it covers all the regions of the particular crop where it is grown. And in shelter belts, large trees are surrounded with crops are surrounded with large trees, so that they can come up and they can grow easily. As we all know, students, that without water a living being cannot survive. Even trees need water, so do we. So start with our next heading, that is water, and it is a renewable resource, means we can renew it. But once we have lost all fresh water, we cannot live without it, because we know that there is 71% of earth is covered with water, but that water is not suitable for drinking. And from that, only 2.7% of the water is suitable and potable for drinking, and only 1% of fresh water is available right now. So it is our duty to conserve the water and use it only where it is needed properly, and let's just not waste it anymore. Let's start with our next heading, that is natural vegetation and wildlife. So students, like here the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere, where natural vegetation and wildlife exists, is called biosphere. Here, lithosphere is termed as earth, hydrosphere is termed as water, and atmosphere, a kind of blanket where before under which we all reside in, that is considered as biosphere. And ecosystem is a network of interactions, means a kind of combination of different spheres under which a living being exists. Usefulness of plants, like they provide timber, give shelter to animals, and provide oxygen, and they let us breathe the oxygen, and protects soil from erosion. And even wildlife is more important to us just because they eat up all kind of unwanted essentials, like lizards eat insects so that they cannot harm, and snakes eat lizards, and some eagle eat snakes. So there's a food chain that keeps us protecting all the time. So students, this was all of it. For further queries and details, you can access internet and read more books from online stuff. And thank you for paying attention. I hope you will study and you will go through this chapter briefly and thoroughly, and pen down your queries and problems and worries. Thank you. Stay healthy and stay safe.